zone of interest, and from what Sharon says, these are areas outside concentration camps. So
They were designated as zones of interest. That was what they were
zones of
called
interest. Yeah.
by the
So
National Socialists.
yeah.
They weren't, because they had I don't, they had a name for concentration camps, but they had like a special
Buchenwald or
area,
something.
and then it
Yeah.
was like zone of interest.
Yeah. So this is a story of the. It takes place well in this garden in the house of the commandant of Auschwitz, and it's his family. So it's him, his wife, and his family, and they've got a nice garden and swimming pool and all that. And outside, you've got a lot of countryside. You've got everything. They've got a really nice, idyllic life, really, haven't they? They've got this. They got this.
Close to the river,
Yeah, close to the
countryside.
river.
They've got horses they can ride.
Yeah. So, but it's right outside,
Seemingly,
and
what more could they want? Yeah.
all right, all the time. You've got through the whole of the film, you've got this constant noise, and you can see. You never actually see inside Auschwitz itself, but you just hear stuff. You hear shots, you hear shouts, you hear. So it's always there.
Dogs
It's
barking.
constantly, yeah, dogs barking. It's constantly there, and they just go about their normal business. It's all matter of fact, like one of the sons has got some teeth. The people will sort through the clothes and choose what if there's anything nice or anything like that. So the only real prisoners you see are the ones that actually go in the garden and do maintenance and stuff. You never really see anything else. And
Trustees or
the
something, aren't
trust,
they?
yeah, trustees almost. So, and it's basically it, and it shows them going, for, oh yeah, the wife, the mother-in-law turns up. That was quite a poignant bit, I think, at the end, because I thought, oh, because at the start she accepts things, and then anyway, but yeah, so it's like two movies really. I reckon if you were to close your eyes and just listen to the sounds, and there's a couple of moments, isn't there, where it just goes like red screen, black screen
Yeah.
for like a minute.
Because when the film starts, I would say the first, for me, it felt like 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, probably two,
It
three
was
minutes.
literally just a wall of sound.
Yes,
And
yeah,
then the screen was blank or just like grey,
yeah, yeah,
just
yeah,
grey, ash, I suppose, the colour of.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. I never thought of that.
you had a wall of sound, and then slowly you
Mm,
could discern different tones in there. And the bit you had like bird song, and then sometimes you'd
mm,
hear like a mechanical noise would start up and
yeah,
stop. And
yeah.
but there was like a wall of sound and nothing visual for at least 3 minutes at the
That's
beginning.
it. Yeah,
And then this sound retreated, but it was there throughout the entire film.
yes.
And so you'd
That
hear
reminds me.
trains arriving.
And
That
sorry,
reminds
Simon.
me of what they did with Oppenheimer with some of the sound.
Yes, that was that constant noise, that
Yeah,
countdown or that building up of tension. And like you'd hear trains come and go, but you'd never see a train. You'd
yeah.
sometimes see steam in the sky. And
Mm,
the family who were living their lives as if there's nothing was going on next door,
mm.
nothing at all.
It was just sort of a
Um,
part of accepted, yeah, matter of
but then you
fact.
see them having a meeting in their dining room where they were discussing how to build a better crematoria
The
and how
salesman,
they were
yeah.
talking about how the salesman was saying how you could get a better load. They're talking about loads, weren't they? You could get a
Loads,
load
IG
in. You could have
carbon.
one
Yeah.
load, and then you can have that one being processed, and then you can cool that one down, and then you can start up the next one. And so
Mm.
they were talking about it as if it was like a bakery,
It was,
basically.
yeah. Well, it was
Um,
salesmen. They were salesmen, weren't they?
they were
IG Farben.
selling
They were
this
saying like,
crematoria,
this is, yeah. What about this? What do you think of that?
and
And he's
people were
like,
trying on coats, and they
plans.
were thinking, "Oh, look, is there anything sewn into the lining of this
Yeah,
coat?"
yeah.
And things like that. So it was, but it was never, they never mentioned
No.
what
I,
was going on next door, but you knew exactly what was going on.
this is one of the few films that intrigued me so much. You know the what I thought were animated
Yeah.
bits. They weren't animated at all. They were actually shot
No.
on a night scope. I actually had a look because I was so intrigued to what it was all about, and I
Yeah,
hunted and
suddenly
I
it went in
hunted.
negative. You had whole two scenes where
Yeah,
the entire thing was in negative. So you just see like a white figure
yeah.
moving around on a black background and
So I had,
putting some objects on the ground. And it was a little girl
yeah,
planting apples, apparently, for
apples. Yeah,
she was just planting
for
them along.
yeah,
And but the father was reading a fairy story to his children at the same
yeah,
time. So you're not quite sure whether they were visualizing this fairy story because it's about Hansel and Gretel, wasn't it? But then it wasn't. It didn't fit. So you're left thinking. You just don't know what. Sometimes you just did not know what was going on.
I
And then
had.
halfway through, it suddenly turned, and it was modern day Auschwitz, and it was the cleaners preparing for the visitors. They were
Mm.
like polishing
Oh,
down the machines. So
The
polishing.
glasses, yeah,
They
yeah,
were
all the
they were like
displays,
hoovering out the visitor rooms,
because he
and then
sort
it
of,
swaps back to the 1940s
yeah,
again. So you suddenly have this moment where you're thinking, what's going on?
yeah,
And then
yeah,
again, as Sean alluded to, you suddenly had two moments in the film where the screen went red, just red, You didn't see anything for a minute, just a red screen. And then you had like a black screen
Is it okay?
and nothing.
I've just looked
And
up. So I'm just going to
yeah,
say, I
go
just
on.
looked up this film, and it's directed. And once I see the director, all of this stuff is making
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Because it's
For
directed
sure,
by
yeah,
Jonathan Glazer, and
Glazer.
he is a visualist. Like he likes doing weird stuff. He comes from a music video background, and I think he did a lot of weird music videos in the '90s, like Jamiroquai, Virtual Insanity. He did the Radiohead one where somebody gets hit by a car. He does weird stuff, and once
Yeah.
now all of a sudden I'm like, yes, he wants to make you think.
Yeah. Well, I found out because I had to hunt, and I really hunted because I wanted to find out about those. And they were actually shot with, so it's actually shot, but it was shot with the old infrared cameras, nighttime
Yeah,
scenes.
those
yeah.
night scenes.
Nothing, absolutely. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it was absolutely nothing to do with what was going on in the house. Nothing to do. Wasn't a fairy story. Wasn't anything else. It was just put in there because the director. I had to go and I couldn't find it, so I had to go see the Guardian what the director said about it. And it was actually a case of. He actually met this lady that was a girl was 12 years old, and she did exactly that. She used to go and
Hide
loot
apples, I
apples.
think.
Yeah, hide apples for when the like work lager parties come out and all that. But it was shot on a night, like infrared, I guess. So,
Yeah.
but I thought it was animated.
But
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
so, but
it just create. It was hard. When you're watching it, you don't quite know what you're making of it. To be honest with you,
No.
yeah,
and it sort of it washes over you. The sound sets you on your edge, so you're not comfortable, and sometimes at night the sky would be lit up with like this orange glow, of just the crematoria burning away night and day, and so you had these scenes that you just feel so deeply uncomfortable, but you don't really quite know what to make of what you're watching, really.
yeah. Well, the thing is, you guys, what you're saying, you're giving me real sort of like boy in the striped pajamas vibes, and
I didn't. Wow.
Yeah.
and it's and that film destroyed me. So it's but I think essentially it's a Jonathan Glazer film. It's gonna be weird, and how many stars would you give it?
Oh, this is like, at least the four. At least the four. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was an absolutely brilliant film. I'm so pleased I went to cinema. I totally enjoyed this. So I'm giving it 4-star.
I would probably agree that I'd give it a 4. To me, it was like a difficult work of literature that you have to put the effort in.
Yeah.
There's some books you can pick up and you can just read, and then you let them wash over you and it's fine. There's other books that are slightly more challenging that you've got to put the work in. And I think this is a film that probably, if you started unpacking it, there's a lot in there for you to unpack and to think
There's
about.
loads. There's
And
loads.
so I think of it as like a work of literature that it isn't necessarily going to be an easy read, but you've really just got to unpick it. So I will give a 4, but to tell people that, don't approach it like you're watching Schindler's List. Because
No.
you're not watching Schindler's
You're
List.
not watching it.
You have to approach it like it's almost like experimental stream of consciousness at work of literature.
In other
Very
words,
fashion new.
you have to approach it like a Jonathan Glazer film.
Yeah, Jonathan Glazer. I mean, hey,
Yes.
what do you expect?
I'm sorry
Jonathan
because I know that he's not like a household name. He's not like a Steven
No.
Spielberg or anything like that. But for people who know stuff, essentially, the second you say Jonathan Glazer, I'm like, okay, cool. He is not interested in making things easy for me. He's not interested. He wanted to go away and he wanted to think. He wanted to essentially do what Sean has done and go and say, what the hell was going on?
Yeah.
So 4 stars but it sounds like he has done well with that. And even the Academy is saying, give this. He's been nominated for Best Director. He's been nominated for Best Picture. So, but it does. But with it being a Jonathan, I think it could be a love or hate thing. Some people would like it. Some people would hate it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Sean,
I just think it's really, really new. I think it's just a really, really bold
Vision.
thing to do, and it's something and that's what you want. It's not your freshy, blockbustery, smash 'em uppy.
I must admit, it did make me go and look up The Family. Because
I bet, yeah.
I looked up all about the real people in the film. I looked up who they were and what happened to them, because the implication in the film was that people could not have lived next door and not been aware of what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
And they wrote a book about the wife of this guy, and it was called like The Oblivious Nazi Housewife, something like that, where she claimed for the rest of her life that she had no idea what was going on next door. And so it made me look at it and go, okay.
Yeah.
If that was your assertion, that's your assertion, but how believable was that?
Yeah, but
when
then
you look at a film like this, you know.
yeah, but then again, I mean, what else are you supposed to say? But it's kind of
Yeah.
it's yeah. And anyway, oh we'll
You probably
There's a lot
you
to it.
probably tell yourself that you didn't know.
exactly
well,
You may
because
well.
what would make the Oscars for me would for that to win Best Picture and the actor that we spoke about, the
Jeffrey
supporting
Wright.
actor.
Right.
Oh no, just Sterling
win
K.
this.
Brown.
Yeah, to win, because I thought him as Cliff, he played as Cliff. I thought he was absolutely so believable as that sort of character, you know, that you know decided.
All right, so you know that's exactly not what's going to happen. So,
No.
that's exactly not because yeah, that's not what's going to happen. So
No.
Yeah,
all right,
4-star film, 5-star subject.
Yeah,
Probably you need your A-level film studies to unpick it.
go with your notebook. Go with your notebook and your glasses so you feel extra smart while you watch it.